ClickUp solves the chaos of modern work by bringing tasks, documents, communication, timelines, and reporting into a single, centralized platform. In this tutorial, we will build a fully functional, ready-to-go workspace where your agency can start working together today. While I'll be building and showcasing a ClickUp setup for my business, GV Marketing, these steps work for any business wanting to get more organized and efficient. Throughout this tutorial, we will cover ClickUp's hierarchy, how to create and manage tasks, collaborate with your team, use different views, build a knowledge base, leverage AI, use whiteboards, set goals, and build automations. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Onboarding and Interface Walkthrough. Click the link in the description to create a ClickUp account. It's quick, easy, and totally free forever. Follow the on-screen instructions and you'll arrive at this onboarding screen. ClickUp will ask you a few questions to personalize your experience. Take the time to answer the questions to the best of your ability. If you want to follow along, my answers will be work, creative, and design. Click Next and confirm I want to skip inviting people to join me. The next few answers don't change anything, so breeze through them and create your new workspace. You'll also want to skip through these built-in tutorials. Don't worry, you can always access them later by clicking on your account in the upper right corner, selecting Help, and clicking on Videos. Alright, before we take a look at ClickUp's organizational hierarchy, let's have a quick interface tour. Starting in the top left corner, let's work our way through the sidebar. Home. No matter where you are in the app, clicking this button will take you back to your home page. Looking slightly to the right, we see that Home has 4 main areas. Inbox. This is where you will receive all of your ClickUp notifications. If someone sends you a message, comments on a doc you uploaded, or a task becomes available, replies. Sometimes you'll need to directly communicate with a coworker on a project. If you @ them, you'll start a thread, and once they reply, you'll see their response here. Assign comments. Comments can be turned into actionable items, tasks that need to be completed. Those will appear in your inbox as well as under this dedicated window. My tasks. This is where you will see every task assigned to you. This is where you will probably spend most of your time. Looking back over to the left, next is the planner. Here you can sync your Google Calendar or Microsoft Outlook account with ClickUp to streamline your workflow. Take easily referenceable notes and plan efficiently. AI. This is where you will either create super agents, AI-driven helpers designed to automate certain tasks like research writing and resolving scheduling conflicts, or simply chat with the AI to find information. Teams. Mostly useful for managers. You can group departments into teams and oversee them. We'll talk more about this later. Docs. ClickUp's built-in version of Google Docs. You can upload anything from a project-specific brief to your standard operating procedures. We'll also talk about this feature later. Whew, that was a lot. Now, let's click the Home button so I can talk about the rest of the interface. To do that, however, we'll need to talk about ClickUp's organizational hierarchy. Chapter 2. ClickUp's hierarchy. At the top of the hierarchy is a workspace, which is your entire agency environment. You can see your workspace name in the upper left corner. Within each workspace are spaces. Think of spaces as buckets where specific departments or teams live. While spaces might usually revolve around a specific department or team, this isn't always the case. Sometimes spaces can refer to a specific client or product. For example, the real GV Marketing ClickUp is divided into 2 spaces, branded and non-branded contents. Inside each space, you have folders. These help you organize related work. Let's start building a workable hierarchy for your agency. On ClickUp, I'll rename the first space Client Projects by hovering my cursor over it, clicking the 3 dots, selecting Rename, entering the name, and clicking Save Changes. I'll create 2 more spaces. I'll click New Space, name it Internal Operations. Select Starter, and click Create Space. I'll do the same thing and create another space named Sales and CRM, but this time, I'll select Marketing Teams before making it. For the rest of the video, we're going to focus on building out client projects. After I delete all the filler, that's already there. There we go. Now, under this space, I will click Add Item. Select Folder, name it Website Redesign Client A, and click Create. You will notice something called a list has been automatically created within the folder. That's because lists are collections of individual action items or tasks. The first list I'll rename to Client Onboarding, and I'll make 2 more lists named Website Production and launch and handoff. With your scalable structure established, you can easily use this format to onboard and manage each new client. Now, before we dive into tasks, there is one last layer of ClickUp's hierarchy, the subtasks. Subtasks can be nested within tasks and are useful when a project is complex and each task comprises several components. Truth be told though, my team never really uses subtasks, and you won't have to either. Just know that they're there. Alright, now it's time to tackle tasks. Chapter 3. Creating and organizing tasks. Let's create our first task. Inside the client onboarding list, let's create a task. Hover over the list, click the plus icon, and select task. That will pull up this window. I'll name this task Client A Kickoff Call. I'll assign this task to myself from the drop-down menu next to assignees. Set the due date for next Monday. Set priority to normal. And in the description, I'll add review goals, timeline, deliverables, and access requirements. Ask the client if they have any questions we didn't cover. As you can see, there are other fields I'm not making use of, such as time estimate, track time, custom fields, subtasks, or checklists. Still, there are a few other elements of this window I want to highlight. The first is attachments at the bottom. Here you can drag and drop any file, whether it's a Google Doc link, Word file, Dropbox link, etc., and upload it directly to the task. For example, I'll drag and drop my logo into the attachments field, and voila. Another key feature is the activity feed on the right. Here you can see each time someone makes a change to the task, whether it's simply filling in the due date or uploading a file. You can also manage notification settings by clicking the bell icon in the upper right corner of the window. At the bottom of the activity feed is the chat box. You can also do several things here. The first is to leave a comment. Comments are visible to all other assignees and are updated in real time, so team members can have a conversation at any time. This is also where you can turn comments into tasks. Simply click the icon furthest to the right here, which lets you assign comments as action item. Now, that's not all. By clicking where it says comments, you can switch to email. Now you can write an email to a coworker or client to ask a question or simply keep them in the loop. I'll switch back to comment now. There's one last thing you can do here. Click the icon that looks like a multicolored flower at the bottom of the box. This pulls up ClickUp's built-in AI, Brain. Since I pulled it up here, it's focused on this task specifically. It can create a progress report, summarize the task, or even write comments and updates on your behalf. Now, let's talk about one last key component of tasks, status. For example, you can see the status of this task is to do. What you need to do is create a custom status chain for your agency. This varies widely depending on exactly what your agency does and how your team works, so I'm not going to create a template you can copy. Instead, I'll show you how to add custom statuses, and I'll show you how my team handles this. Click on the three dots next to Client Projects and click on Task Statuses. Here you can edit, rearrange, delete, and create a status for each stage of your team's workflow. For example, after In Progress, I'll click Add Status, select a color, and name the status Awaiting Client Feedback. Whenever you're done making changes, make sure to save this template before clicking Apply Changes. That way, you'll be able to easily copy this workflow to another space, folder, or list. Now, a key point, the more detailed and complete your status workflow is, the less confusion there will be, enabling your team to work more efficiently and effectively. In short, the hierarchy as a whole will ensure your agency runs efficiently, but it's the task menu where everything happens. Spend the time learning it inside and out. While I'm here, I'll exit this window and add 2 more tasks to this list. Collect brand assets and logins, and finalize project scope and timeline. There. Now you have a roadmap moving forward. While we're still going to discuss tasks, we'll explore the various ways you can view them without getting overwhelmed. Chapter 4. Navigating different views. Let's click on Client Projects. Then look in the upper left corner. We have the List view. This is the classic, ideal for managers who want to see all the detailed tasks in one place. Board view, meanwhile, shows tasks sorted into columns by status. This can be a helpful view for identifying bottlenecks and distributing the workflow to keep everything running smoothly. Calendar view arranges tasks by due date, helping you plan deliverables and deadlines. This view can be helpful for both regular employees and managers. There's also the Gantt view, which visualizes project timelines so you can make schedule adjustments. And lastly, if you're a spreadsheet enjoyer, there's the table view, which turns everything in Excel-like spreadsheet with cells, columns, and rows. The flexibility to switch between views at any time without affecting others significantly streamlines project management as a whole. Something else that will make your team's life a lot easier is automating your agency's knowledge base with AI. Chapter 5. Knowledge sharing with AI. Every document you upload to ClickUp, whether it's related to a single task or uploaded as a reference sheet for an entire space, is searchable with ClickUp's built-in AI. In this chapter, we'll see how to build and structure your agency's knowledge base. First, create a space. Name it Knowledge Base. Click Continue and click Create Space. Delete the list that's currently in the space and replace it with a folder named SOPs. Delete the list created in that folder. Click on the new folder and in the top center of your screen, click Add a Doc. That will open a new view called Docs. Rather than copying and pasting everything in by hand, you can import files. In the upper right corner, click the three dots, select Import, and click Document Files. Now, I'll drag and drop my team's writer's guidelines into the field here, wait for it to upload, and then click Import. It'll take just a few seconds. Now, I'll click on AI in the left sidebar, open Ask AI, and ask the following question. According to the writer's guidelines, how are we supposed to write hooks and introductions? I'll press the Enter key on my keyboard. Let's see what the AI comes up with. There we go. In just a few seconds, the AI cited the relevant part of the writer's guidelines and even included a link that'll take me right to the doc if I need further information. Pro tip, before we move on to the next chapter, something else to keep in mind. You can narrow the source the AI can consult. In the bottom right of the chat box, click on All Sources. From here, you can limit the AI to browse tasks, docs, the ClickUp Help Center, or any workspace, space, folder, or list as well. Now, let's look beyond the day-to-day operations we've covered so far to talk about the long-term planning and brainstorming tools that ClickUp offers. Chapter 6. Goals and whiteboards. Goals are a feature that lets you set measurable objectives for your team. For example, my team could set a goal to publish 1 video per day this month. Progress can either be tracked automatically or manually. Whiteboards, meanwhile, are a digital space for teams to brainstorm, map workflows, or propose roadmaps. Anyone can draw, create sticky notes, add shapes, and then convert items on the board directly into tasks. I'll show you where to find both of these tools. In the left sidebar, click More and select Goals. Click Set a Goal. To get started, give the goal a name, assign it an owner, decide who can view it, and set the completion date. I'll create a goal for my team to publish 1 video a day for the next month. You have to click OK after filling out each field. All right, once you're done with that page, click OK. And it's time to set a target or a clear, measurable milestone you need to complete to achieve your goal. Click Create a Target. I'll name the target Videos Published, set the owner, and set the type of target to Tasks. If I were in the real GV marketing, I'd want to select Published, and ClickUp would automatically track how many videos got published that month. For today's video, I'll simply select True, False instead and click OK. This goal isn't automated, but it's still there in the background. You can access the whiteboard in the same area. Click on More and select Whiteboards. You can choose between 5 templates or opt to start from scratch. I'll open the flow chart. That will give us this diagram where you can easily customize what you have or add additional elements, shapes, notes, connectors, text, images, and more, using the toolbar found at the bottom of the screen. Remember to give your diagram a name in the upper left corner. Pro tip, the whiteboard is designed for brainstorming with your team, but consider using it when pitching to potential clients. Visually showing them how everything works to deliver the end result can be very powerful and helps demonstrate your expertise. Another way to demonstrate your expertise and save you and your team a lot of time is to automate as many of your processes as possible. Luckily, ClickUp makes it easy to automate repetitive tasks and build templates for future use. Chapter 7. Automations and Templates. Let's start with automations. Automations affect everything beneath them in ClickUp's organizational hierarchy. In other words, you can create an automation for a space, and it'll be applied across every folder, list, and task. Alternatively, you can create an automation for a list, and it will only be applied to tasks in that list. Automations are made up of three parts: a trigger that tells the automation when to execute, conditions that set the parameters, and actions to be completed. Let's see how it works. In the upper right corner, click Automate. ClickUp's AI will automatically suggest creating automations based on the tasks you've created. Instead, I'll enable Due Date Reminder. That will pull up this window. As you can see, the trigger is when the due date arrives. Add a comment that says, "This onboarding task is due today and not yet complete." Go ahead and click Create in the bottom right. Now, on the day any task in the space client project comes due and it hasn't been completed, that message will get sent. Let's make one last automation. Click on the lightning bolt icon in the upper right and click Create Automation. Keep trigger set to tasks or subtasks, and keep the condition set to task or subtask created. Leave sources as is. Now, we have to tell the automation what we want it to do. We want it to send a message. Click Change Status. Scroll down a little and select Add a Comment. Do you see the small box labeled Task ID and Task Name? These are dynamic fields that allow the message to change based on specific criteria. For this automation, click +18 and select Assignees. I'll enter a comma after the dynamic field and then include the message. This task is yours. Click Create. Now, after I create a task, the assignee receives an automatic notification in ClickUp. And if you choose the business plan or higher, you can integrate third-party notifications with your workflow, such as sending a Slack DM or message on Microsoft Teams. Now, onto templates. I'll keep this pretty short because we've already seen what templates are and how they work. Remember back in Chapter 3 when we set up a status-driven workflow for your agency? I had you save it as a template so the workflow can easily be applied to other spaces. Templates can also be created for folders, lists, and tasks. To create or edit templates, hover over whatever hierarchy you want to copy, select the three dots, click on Templates, and select the relevant option. Remember, if you don't have a ClickUp account just yet, you can create one using my link in the description of this video. It's free and you don't even need a credit card. By using my link, you are supporting my work. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful and I will see you in the next video.